Imagine you are sitting at your desk late at night, staring at a screen, and suddenly you become aware not of the screen, but of the fact that you are a mind looking out from somewhere behind your eyes. That flicker of awareness feels private, like a room only you can enter. For centuries, philosophers have argued about that room. Some say the room is an illusion, just neurons firing in complex patterns. Some say the room is something extra, a ghost riding on top of the machine. I want to offer a different picture. Think of your mind as a virtual machine running on biological hardware. The brain is the physical computer, full of chemistry and electricity. On top of that, there is a layer of organized activity, a pattern of processes that behaves like software. Inside that software, there is a point of view. Not a soul floating above the body, but a location inside the system where information is gathered, integrated, and evaluated. That point of view is what we call subjectivity. One famous philosopher asked what it is like to be a bat. He was trying to capture the feeling that each conscious creature has its own inner perspective. From the outside, we can measure the bat brain and map its circuits. From the inside, there is the world of flying through the night sky, hearing shapes with sound instead of light. Another philosopher said that the mind is made of many little processes that draft and revise interpretations of what is going on. Those drafts compete and cooperate until some of them win and become part of your ongoing story about yourself and the world. This is not a single spotlight of awareness, but a newsroom full of editors and reporters. Now bring these two ideas together. The newsroom of drafts is the virtual machine. The bat question is about the frame of reference inside that virtual machine. It is like the difference between watching a video game from across the room and being inside the game with the headset on. From across the room you see wires, plastic, and light. Inside the headset you see a landscape, a sky, and your own hands reaching out. The hardware view and the first-person view are not two different worlds. They are two different coordinate systems on the same process. Physics had to learn this lesson with motion and time. There is no absolute place and no universal clock. Every measurement is made from a frame of reference. Once you specify the frame, the numbers make sense. Subjective experience works the same way. There is no absolute viewpoint on the mind. There are viewpoints inside the virtual machine and there are viewpoints outside it. When we talk about brain scans, neurons, and information flow, we are speaking from the outside frame. When we talk about how it feels to be anxious, curious, or in love, we are speaking from inside the frame. The apparent mystery comes from sliding between frames without noticing. It is like asking why the map and the territory do not look the same. One is a bird's eye diagram. The other is mud on your shoes and wind on your face. The solution is not to choose one and throw away the other. The solution is to understand how they line up. The inside view is the territory as it is traveled by a particular traveler. The outside view is the map as it is drawn by observers. The mind is the ongoing process that supports both. Once we see subjectivity as a frame of reference, a lot of old debates start to calm down. The question is no longer whether consciousness is physical or non-physical. The question becomes how a physical system can implement a stable virtual machine with an internal point of view. We already know that computers can do something like this. An operating system creates users, desktops, and windows that exist only as patterns in memory. From inside the desktop you move files, open programs, and drag icons around. From outside the desktop, the operating system is just flipping bits. There is nothing mystical about the desktop, but it is still real as a layer of organization. Your conscious mind is like that. It is a desktop that has become self-aware and curious. It maintains a running model of the world, of your body, and of itself. It remembers old drafts and writes new ones. It predicts, worries, plans, and imagines. And it does all of this by constantly translating between inside and outside frames. What we feel as confusion or wonder often comes from collisions between those frames. Someone tells you that love is just chemicals, and you feel that something important has been erased. Someone else tells you that thoughts are pure spirit, and you feel that something important about brains and evolution has been ignored. Both stories are using narrow metaphors. They are fighting over which picture is allowed to be real. The deeper move is to realize that reality has layers. Chemistry, biology, and subjective life are not separate universes. They are different levels of description of one evolving process. Memes, the units of culture and thought, live in this layered space. Some memes attach to the hardware view. Some attach to the inner narrative view. Some are designed to make you forget that there are other frames. They say that only one story is allowed. Our goal is to notice the frame we are in, and then learn to step between frames on purpose. To look at our minds as virtual machines without losing respect for what it feels like to live inside them. To look at our feelings as information without treating them as disposable. To see that every story about who we are is also a piece of code running on the same shared substrate. Once you see this, subjectivity stops being a ghost story and becomes a design problem. How do we build systems, institutions, technologies, and habits that respect the reality of inner life while staying grounded in science? How do we create meme flows that help minds become more aware of their own frames instead of trapping them in one rigid picture? One answer is simple but not easy. We practice shifting views. We look at our thoughts as events happening in a virtual machine. We look at our virtual machine as something shaped by culture, by education, and by the information streams we bathe in every day. We zoom in to feel what it is like from the inside. We zoom out to see the larger system. This is not a rejection of wonder. It is a way to deepen it. The more we understand about how minds arise from physical processes and how perspectives arise from virtual machines, the more impressive it becomes that a universe of particles can wake up and ask these questions. We are not just passengers in this process. We are also programmers. By choosing the metaphors we live by, the stories we repeat, and the systems we build, we are slowly rewriting the code of our shared virtual machine. The more clearly we see the frames of reference, the less easily we can be pushed around by someone else's narrative. That is the beginning of freedom in a world made of minds and memes.